My intention was to reconstruct the notion and the concept of the mass as it is used, especially in relation to film, where we speak of mass medium and the public becoming of mass scale. And at the same time, this is a concept of political theory, and I was interested to show on what level converge the political and the aesthetic notions of the mass. And I tried to show this in some examples also. In political theory, you know, this was always concerned with the mass, the revolutionary masses. It starts with the French Revolution. And immediately when film started, there were made the first films on revolutions, playing with this possibility of film to show more than paintings could show. This really endless stream in the streets, and to follow the stream and to be a part of the stream and to be moving with the masses. So this is a kind of aesthetic topic in film that started very early on. When you look at depictions of the mass, you usually have either it starts with an empty place and then the mass comes, you know. So it's either it fills the image from the outside, or you have what I showed here in one example from King Vidor's film The Crowd from 1928. The mass becomes a power that would pervade and spill over the frame. So on some level the mass becomes this kind of object that is not enshrined in a frame. And so I wanted to follow a little bit on this line and look, can we use this notion today, and what sense can we make out of it? And on some level I think that many films are still aiming at this concept to show the masses as a kind of unpredictable factor in political life. And so when you look at these new protest movements, you can say also that there's a new idea of mass protest. There are people no longer clearly divided, you know, from classes or specific parts of cities, but it's a kind of more diffuse groups that are gathering in the streets and so. And I think that's a phenomenon also, that it comes back on some level. Today you can see it mostly in TV, where you have, let's say, this huge sport events, like a football World Cup, something like this. You always have this idea that the masses become part of the game. You have in the stadium, you have already huge screens where the masses, on some levels, they can look at themselves. And that's something new. So they are no longer just the ornament as they were described in the 20s. On the other hand, you have this very small formats like films. You can make videos with your mobile phone. And but I think the idea to do films with a mobile phone is depending on the idea that virtually everybody can, because everybody has a mobile. There's this kind of very strange link between what does it mean to produce things on a mass scale, so that nearby everybody, we know it's never everybody, it's an illusion, but could be not only a possession of very rich people also, but it can be distributed on a mass scale. And then comes the idea, what can we do with it? And the idea what practice this will entail, the small technologies. That's something that is developed on the backdrop of this idea that one could share a practice with 100,000 millions and so on.